Here we have a 125-week bar setup. We are in the third 25-week bar section. This is our first 25-week bar section. I teach like kind numbers, odds and evens, 2-bar back strategies to simplify the market and the mathematical movements. I trap it in these maths, and then I chart it and look for movements, and I understand the parameters in which it can function by simply understanding like kind numbers and 2 bars back, referring to the days, the weeks, or the 5-week bar, or the 25-week bar, and then also the 125-week bar. So let's break this down and see why our Bitcoin move started happening down here at the bottom here. So we are 3 trading at 1 open, low, high, close. And this is my next one, the high, the open, high, low, close. My current bar 3, again, looking and playing with these levels over here. And in that form there, this is bar 3. It's an odd number. This is bar 5. It is an odd number. You see that level coming across? That is the opening level. So we opened, shot through 1 and hit a 5. And now we're playing around at these levels, okay? So let's go in and take a look at it on a smaller time frame real quick. Okay, so how did we get down here? Let's just start over here. At this point, we opened the bar, put in a bar 1, and bar 3, rejected bar 1. That's 2 bars back. Boom. Came down. It got a long off of 2 bars back. That's 7 off of 5. Boom. Goes up. And then 2 puts in a high area here, and 4 rejects and falls back into that range. And now 4 hits the low of 2. 2, 4, 4, back to 2. Low of this week at the same point. 2 bars back, low of trade with a 2 bars back signal. Continuation. We get the little Wyckoff move here. Here we go. Closing level, 2 bars back, puts in a high, blasts through, comes back. 2 days back. Bang. Blasts off. It also lands on this level here. So that level there is, this is a weekly bar. 1 week. 2 weeks back. Bang. Boom. 2 week back high. Bang. Targets have been hit. This is the bar 4, hitting the open of the 5-week bar. Are there chances we can go higher? Yes. We can hit this high up here. We can hit this level. We can keep going up for higher levels. These will be your targets if it breaks this red line. That'd be your main levels that you're going to be looking for. Does not have to hit them. Nothing ever has to hit, really, truly. But it does have a high likelihood of hitting the levels if it breaks that and starts heading in that direction. So right now we are over here inside of this little box. If we just look 2 bars back, 2 days back, it is day 3, Wednesday, potentially landing on and working at day 1 levels. Now it does not have to hit it, but it can. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much what's caused Bitcoin to make its moves to where it is. It's not really hard. It's not as crazy as people make it sound. No need to pay somebody $250 plus a month to get all kinds of information that you can just sit here and chart and understand mathematically for free. I'm giving it to you guys for free. You know, I mean, this is an extremely awesome value for free. I'm laying out a mathematical sequence and ways to read it for you to look at repeatedly forever and understand that it will always have to function in these ways. Now, our goal is to try to decipher it through the shapes that we have. We have time-based structure, and then we have a essentially like a radio wave coming through these points and undetermined locations for it to be going. And then our job is to try to understand this static, if you may, or if you will, like you may want to look at it that way. But our goal is to understand we want to be on the outside of these structures. So whenever price comes in, time crossing is the same for everything, but prices that it's at and structures that it's at can all be different. And so we'll have to understand the general flow of things and how these are triggers back and forth and how we can make money trading off of this stuff. Yeah, so what we'll do now is we'll switch over to a $125,000 math sequence to help you understand why this could have happened. And if we had came over here, I don't have this charted out, but I'm sure we could have, nailed this down to some type of bar, odd or even bar landing over here and causing us to go back up. But again, here we are, 2 bars back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and potentially 6 of them. So, and then 1 2-week back function at the same point in time, and has executed break across the range here and hit the opening range, which has caused our big hesitation here. And we'll go ahead and switch over to the 125,000 here. Okay, now here we are on the $125,000 sequence setup. These are $125,000 bars. You will do another one, repeat it the same way up towards 250, just to show that you have this consecutive math sequence. Okay, the same way that you would run out 125,000 from left to right and start a new one, just like a week, pink line to pink line, 1 through 5, 1 through 5, 1 through 5. It's the same concept. We'll just repeat this again and again and again, over and over and over, as it keeps going to $1 million. And then we'll have another one set on 250, which will, consolidate our information for us. Anyway, down here at the bottom, what can we get from this system? We can understand that if we were here in this day, in this area here, we are under 2 bars back. So we could see how that could short for us. If we come down here, you see this day, you see this time structure over here, this 2 bars back. Here we are over here, 1 2 bars back. Okay, and this is just kind of happening in and around math levels. All right, and so if we take this section here, which is $25,000, and we split that, we can see how we went 1 2 and peaked and hit the third. The middle section here is like a 50% range, and we know that we can reject 50% ranges. This is a 50% price range, and dead center would be right there. But we are seeing how at this level, which is a Fibonacci number, 2 bars back, consisting of 3 days to make this happen at a price level. Okay, and so it dumps down, and it will, it'll keep working off that stuff. We can put one down here if we would like to, just to kind of see this area here. And so we can look down here and see that we are at a large price, right? And then we got that 2 bar back function down here at the bottom, just to kind of help us solidify our thinking here. And now we are back over price, and we look 2 bars back. You see? Whoops, I missed it. Let's see here. Let's do it again. 2 bars back at a math level. You understand? And things can run 2 bars up and 2 bars down in math levels. This is a bar, and it went across the whole bar. So 1 bar from this bar, 1 bar, 2 bars. Peak to the outside, stayed within. Comes over here and goes 1 bar, 2 bars. Peaks into this bar, rejects, and then from that one, and you'd call this one a bar, 1 2 bars, and peaks into another one. So it's 2 bars, 2 levels down. And then at that same point, at this math level, we have another 2 bar back function. So if we are to come down into this level here, we can get a function potentially down here, and it can potentially try to run us up here to these higher prices. It does not have to ever do that. Just stating that right there. Yeah, that'd be fine. Just looking to the left there, and you can see how it honored these little price ranges through here. You know what I mean? We can change our time frames from 1 day to 2 days to 3 days, and try to see different perspectives of how this here could lay out and how that would look. But we can chart this in this 125,000 or 125 week bar sequences and understand how we can get these mathematics to work for us and tell us what's happening in this range, so that we're not just stuck with trying to, yes, this is a decent little system in which you can then, you know, you can pull some trades off of ranges and stuff, and then have your middle bar, you know, on there to give you an idea. And we could then split this box and say, well, look at that. We can split that box and then what? Try to guess it again and then say, oh, well, look at that. I'm over top of all that stuff there. That there's a better way to simplify and look at things. If we trade price, we do it in these sequences and we look for these signals. We don't have to aim for the stars or aim for everything to go straight to the bottom. We can just look for pretty good, decent moves. If you thought it may come up here, it may cross this one here and come up into the bar 3. So, this line down here longs past 65 to 70, and then it could go up into, 72 and a half, right? And so you think, well, that may run up to that price. That's 10, 11%, 12, 13, 14%. You can kind of get your ideas of where you want to take your profits. And if you can kind of gauge how much money you want to make off of it. You can simplify it and just trade price, or you can just trade structures and look for these 2-bar back functions only like this and take moves off that only. And then, you can try to, but then you won't really have too much understanding around you. You could aim for this next high. I mean, in that perspective, that would work. We could short to the low. We could short to this low. We could long back towards this high, but it would have, potentially, it would have got you in here. And if you were stopped down in here, you were safe. And then if you got in here and was stopped down in here, you're safe, So down in here, we've got multiple 2-bar back functions going on at price levels. So the last one, this right here, was level. And I know it was the one that some people may think was a little crazy and would potentially say that that's pushing it. This one might be clear. This one might be clear if you don't understand. But this one may throw you off. But when you start to understand the pricing that goes along with it, you can understand how this level and this level, 2 bars back open, and then now we're back over top of it, right? If we thought that may do it, we might could come down in here with a little fib and then, kind of get us an idea of how that may have moved in there. We're back over level. We pushed one from here, 1 bar, 2 bars, went up 1 bar into 2 bars, rejected 1 bar, 2 bars, and then took off. So we took off up. We were in this bar playing around. We went 1, 2 bars, 2 bars, So in this perspective, if we rejected this bar, the high, we could go across ourselves because we touched it. So that did activate this level in mathematics. It just rejected this zone. So it touched it, it activated it. And so from the touch of this, we could say 1 bar, 2 bar zones, right? We could also say 1 bar, this bar goes 1 bar, 2 bars. But, that's to be determined. We do have a peak up inside this level. It can come up into this price level and then short down. There's nothing to say that it can't, but just to understand in that perspective. In one perspective, you could say from this math level here, we rejected the 3rd level over here on the left here. We rejected the 3rd level, the bottom of the 3rd level. So we could run potentially to this 3rd bar up here in the next bar, just 1 bar jump, 3 to 3. The same ways that I showed you, how Bitcoin can hit previous weeks, odd or even in an odd or even day in a current day that we're in the week. So, yep, that's pretty much it. Just simplified, no big deal. Not acting like this is some crazy stuff, free. Others are charging $200 a month to give you less knowledge right off the bat and to drag that stuff out forever. I'm just giving it to you for free right off the bat. Don't really care. Not worrying about it. Giving you everything you need to know, starting you out in the right point of view in every perspective, right? It starts to make sense when you start playing with the numbers like this and paying attention. So that's all I got for you for now. I'm not going to sit on here and ramble on too much, but you know, if you're in a bar, you can go 1 bar, 2 bars down, all right? So this bar to this bar doesn't seem so crazy. This is your level that you're going to have to get through if we're to go this high. And on the horizontal maths from left to right, that system is going to help you understand all of these mathematical levels that will help you give confluence to these prices so that you can start to understand what's going on. So the same way that I use the 1-day bars, signals at these price maths and stuff to shoot us through these levels, it's the same way that you can do the higher time frame stuff, the 25-week bar levels and 5-week bar levels through everything, and then tie it in with price like this, just to have another clear perspective that helps you understand up or down. All right, that's all I got for you.